Awesome, cool. How many Ohio locals? All right, yeah, there we go. All right, okay, I want to find out who's the farthest person away. Okay, so I'm from Chicago. Anyone farther than Chicago?
You're from Chicago?
Yeah, I win.
I'm also from Chicago.
Okay, well, maybe you're a little bit farther then. Anyway, thanks for coming. My name's Abdallah. I run the YouTube channel Abdallah Smash. We're going to be talking about YouTube today and how we got into our streaming careers on Twitch, Mixer, DLive, whatever you guys stream, and hopefully you guys can learn a little bit something about our personal stories. And then, of course, we're going to end off the panel with an AMA where you guys can ask us anything you guys want in order to get a little bit more information on how you guys can get into the YouTube space and or Twitch space. So I guess I'll start off with introducing myself, and then we'll move on down, and we'll give a little bit of a blurb of who we are and what we do on the entire internet here. So again, my name's Abdallah. I run the YouTube channel Abdallah Smash 026, Nintendo brand ambassador, and I focus on daily family-friendly Nintendo content. Currently working on Mario Kart Tour. Any of you guys play that game? Yes? There we go. How much money did you spend on it? $0. Free to play, by the way. Awesome. All right, so I'll pass it on over here.
I'm Jake, also known as Chocotaco. I do YouTube, but my main focus is actually Twitch. I'm a Twitch streamer. I actually see some of my viewers out in the audience. I'm seeing some of my merch out here. Yes, some of us have matching hats. I've been doing it for about 2 years, 2.5 years, so I'm sort of new to the space, newish. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I'm Katie. I am Ellen Tori Online. I mainly am actually on Instagram, but stream on Twitch, art, concept art, stuff like that.
And I'm Jess Brohard. I don't have a go by because I'm not as cool, and I have a YouTube and a Twitch. My primary thing is hosting, sideline reporting, interviewing for esports tournaments primarily. But then I do a little bit of content creation on the side. So unlike some of my fellow panelists, this isn't kind of my main thing, but hopefully I'll have some insight to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, regardless of how far along we are in our YouTube and following, our Twitch following, we all have to start somewhere, right? A lot of you guys want to get into the space, and you guys are curious as to, where do you get started? So why don't we start with Jess, and why don't you tell the audience how you got started into the whole gaming realm?
Sure. Yeah, I get asked this question a lot. So my kind of elevator pitch is I graduated from college in 2010 and then went to my day job during the day. I worked at 9 to 5 JP Morgan Chase. I was an IT risk manager. And then in the evening, I launched my YouTube channel. And my intention there was never to be a full-time content creator like these guys, or to become YouTube famous or anything, because I wanted to do hosting. So I did these dumb little, kind of like the IGN Daily Fix, I wrote, hosted, produced a crappy little series out of my bedroom, in the evenings, and it was really low production value, but I kind of worked my way up from there. After about 6 months of doing that kind of content, I started getting offers of oh, hey, can you host that kind of video, but for us, and we'll pay you. And then after that, I got a couple of full-time job offers, and then, kind of went back to freelance. So that was, I guess, my start.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Katie, let's hear about you.
My start was pretty small. I started streaming on live stream, actually, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And I was strictly streamed just to kind of get in contact more with the community I already had online for, fan art and stuff. I saw, one other artist streaming and just kind of wanted to join. So my streaming was more of an extension of an audience I was already building on Tumblr, actually. And then it just kept going from there. Mainly just to entertain myself while I was drawing, but it worked for other people too.
Awesome, man. Jake, go ahead.
My start was actually kind of explosive. I'd always been into gaming my whole life, especially being competitive. I played a lot of Counter-Strike, played a lot of Dota. But in 2017, this game called PUBG came out, and everyone was playing PUBG. And I was playing PUBG too, and somehow I wasn't really trying to do this, but I had a friend point out to me that I was actually on the leaderboard for PUBG. And I'd always been interested in streaming, but I'd never really wanted to grind it out. So I saw me being on the leaderboard as a way to kind of promote my stream. So I decided I was going to maybe stream for a couple months, see if it works. 2.5 years later, here I am. Being really good at the game made people kind of want to watch my stream, and it made me get viewers really quickly. And after 2-3 months, I actually was making more money streaming than I was at my regular job. So I put in my notice, quit, and went full time, and here we are.
Awesome. As for me, I started streaming and recording YouTube VODs when the Nintendo 3DS came out. How many of you guys remember that little old system? Yeah, you guys have some? Some of you guys doing street passes this weekend, maybe? I started playing Mario Kart 7, and I was the kind of person that loved watching YouTubers, right? I would watch competitive Pokemon, or I would just like spend hours a day. Forget TV, forget cable, I would be on YouTube. And how many guys are like that too, where you just don't pay the cable bill, you just have YouTube on, it's free, it's awesome. So I was like that, and then I found a lot of content creators that I really gravitated towards, and I'd watch them every day. And then one day I'm just like, you know what, I can do this too. And I believe that a lot of you guys can fall into those steps as well. So since then, I was recording Mario Kart, anything Nintendo, and I just got picked up by Nintendo, actually them, and they recognized me, and they said, hey, you know what, let's join the ambassador program. So everything that I do right now is just talking about the latest game. So it's a fun time, absolutely. So let's talk about equipment that you guys may use. We'll start off with Jake and move on down. What kind of equipment do you particularly use, and what works out for you as far as your setup goes? Because I know that's one of the things, I'm reading all of your minds right now. Like, how much is this going to cost me to get into it? So we're going to go down the line, and I'll pick up whatever you guys miss.
Equipment. I would say the number one piece of equipment that I love is something called a Go XLR. Anyone know what a Go XLR is? A few people do. A few people who watch me probably do. It's sort of it's a newer thing, and it's actually a mixer that's designed for content creators. It has everything you need. It has an XLR port for an XLR microphone. It has all of these voice changing capabilities, which are really fun to do and really fun to play around with on your stream. You can record sounds with it. It also has I don't know what you call it exactly, like digital audio cables. So it can, the sliders on the mixer correspond to, you can make them correspond to programs on your computer. So for example, I have a slider that corresponds to Spotify, one that corresponds to my game, one that corresponds to Discord. So if you haven't heard of the Go XLR, they actually just came out with a new one. It's like a miniature one. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, hashtag not sponsored,
yeah,
right?
But like, it is the most amazing piece of equipment I have for my streaming setup. So if you haven't heard of it, go check it out. If you're interested in content creation, it's kind of expensive. I think the Go XLR is like $400. So when you were mentioning, this stuff gets expensive. Like, if you want to sound good and sound the best that you can, as far as audio equipment goes, it gets really expensive. Like, I use an SM7B for my microphone, which is one of the go-to mics for streamers and YouTubers. Mm-hmm. And it is, I don't know how much it costs, but it's like $400, and you need like the cables to go with it, and you need like this thing called a cloud lifter that goes with it. So it gets expensive. But check out the Go XLR. It's so good.
Go XLR. Got
Not
you.
sponsored.
I'm going to write that down.
Not sponsored. I'm serious. I'm not sponsored. It's just like, it's a really amazing product.
Okay. Yeah.
This really sounds
Katie,
like that.
let's talk about what you would recommend, or what's your go-to piece of equipment?
Well, for me, it's the Cintiq, a 22-inch Cintiq bolted to my desk, but most people aren't going to need that.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
It's a digital art tablet.
Okay, so a digital
screen
art
drawing
tablet.
tablet that's like that big, and
Okay.
it's probably like $1,800.
Okay. Cool.
You probably don't need that for your stream. I mean, what I currently use, I built my own computer. I've got an Astro headset and like a little Razer Keo video thingy. My stuff is definitely not like top of the line. When I started, I had a little Logitech camera, and the headset I used was actually one of the Xbox headsets that I could plug into my PC too. And everybody always commented, they're like, wow, you sound like really clear and good. And I was like, cool, this mic was like $30. So I'd say if you want to really polish up your stream, there are obviously like high-end expensive options that will be nice to polish off. It is important though to have good audio quality. Like, there are cheaper mics that'll do it. The biggest problem with I think it was, I don't even remember what it was called, but it was a little flimsy, but the sound quality was good. So like, ask your stream, or if you have a friend who can like watch your stream and listen while you're doing sound tests and stuff, I would say having clear audio is a big deal. So yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, good audio. All right.
Huge deal.
Yeah.
Jess, what do you recommend?
All right, so I primarily stream from PC, occasionally from my Switch. So when I do stream from my Switch, I do have the Elgato, I think the HD60, which is nice because it's just really simple. You don't have to like I know things about installing things into like PCI slots, but you don't have to. with that one. You just have to know like HDMI, and that's as technical as you need to get. You just plug one, you basically find where the plugs fit, and it's really hard to mess up. So you plug it in, you plug it in, you turn it on, boom, you're good to go. For PC, I have for me, I was very interested in like, because I don't put out good content, so I was like, I'm gonna have good quality instead. So I was really interested in having like a really high quality, crisp camera picture. So I don't use a regular webcam. I use a DSLR camera. I use the Canon, the Rebel T7i, I want to say, and then I use it with a program called SparkoCam, which is not a free program, but it is not expensive. It's like, I think it's like $80 for like a lifetime license. And then what that does, and then you also need, so to do that, you also need a continual power source, which is only, you can get like one for like, it's like $20, I think. And that just kind of keeps your camera on the whole time, so you don't have to use your camera's battery and then like, hold on guys, got to pause the stream, pop in a new camera, hit myself in the face with my badge while I do it. So you so that keeps your camera on all the time. And then SparkoCam lets you use kind of your preview as your like stream, so that it's something to do with like not burning out the lens of the camera. I don't really understand the technicals. You guys don't have to either. But that's just kind of my like hack that I do for using like an SLR camera, a really nice camera, instead of just like a webcam. For audio, I use the Blue Snowball. So it's not really the top of the line. I probably could upgrade that, but like, I don't know, I'm not really like a voiceover artist or anything. So for me, like audio wasn't as important, but I think like for my purposes, the Blue Snowball is good enough. And yeah, that's mostly my setup.
Okay, yeah, so I guess the cover points that we didn't touch on, ultimately, you guys in the audience, you guys don't want to break the bank, right? You guys don't want to spend thousands of dollars on this equipment, so how are we going to do this on the cheap? That's the real question. So ultimately, it's taking whatever computer you guys have right now and testing its capabilities. So try recording with your computer or using a game capture device for that. Like you mentioned earlier, Elgato is an awesome thing in case you guys want to get into console streaming, like Nintendo Switch or Xbox or PlayStation 4. Elgato is by far like the best capture software out there.
It's like the de facto standard for like, if you stream on console, you use an Elgato product.
Absolutely. So that's super easy. They're around like $150. You can get like a basic model of that. And then like you said earlier, it's super easy to just plug into your computer and start recording. Now, in the YouTube space, it's primarily VODs, where you just record content and talk over it if you want to. In the Twitch space, it's primarily live streaming. So when it comes down to it, it's all about you guys on what you want to do. Live streaming is a lot more organic, it's a lot more interactive, and whereas if you're brand new to something like this, maybe VOD might be the way that you can do it a little bit easier, so that you can get used to talking to yourself in a room versus talking to an entire internet that's over there, because in case you stutter over your words, or in case you don't like how you sounded, or you messed up your intro, you can edit that out and then continue to re-record that stuff. Whereas if you're live, which a lot of you guys know,
there is a certain charm to trial by fire.
That's right. Trial by fire is absolutely good. So anyway, find whatever computer you have, go for it, test out the capabilities of it. You guys are talking about like super expensive mics, which is awesome. Audio clarity is very good. How many guys have witnessed a YouTube video or a Twitch streamer where they're like the audio is like not so great? Yeah, I'm seeing a couple. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, me personally, we all try it out at the beginning and we're like, dude, this audio stinks. Let's get something new. So the Yeti Snowball, the Blue Yeti Snowball, that's like a $50 mic. It's awesome. Great.
I have the Blue Snowball, which is like their lowest end. It's still like a professional quality. Then there's the Blue is the brand. The Yeti is like the more professional, so that's a little higher end. But the Snowball, I think when it came out, it was only like $80. You can probably find it for like $40 now.
Exactly. So
I
that's
used
a really
the Yeti
good
too.
one.
I used the Yeti when I started, and it sounded great. And I think it's like $100, which is a lot of money, but for that level of quality.
The headset I was using was Turtle Beach, by the way. I'm just saying, like,
hashtag not sponsored.
You can find those somewhere. Yeah, at GameStop.
They're literally just like Xbox mics mainly, but they work if you're looking for like $30 options.
Yes, even more budget friendly. So we talked about computers. Obviously, you're going to need one of those if you're going to be PC streaming or just live streaming in general. We talked about console capturing. Now, we didn't necessarily talk about webcam. And if you guys are beginners out there, being on webcam is a little intimidating, right? If you want to put yourself out to the world, that's a different beast than just hiding behind the gameplay and then narrating over it, which, there's nothing wrong with that. There are people that get tons and tons of views without webcam. But of course, if you want to show your personality a lot more, you would stream with webcam accordingly. Now, a lot of you guys have really high-end cameras, which sound really awesome. But of course, like we talked about earlier, you had like a little Logitech webcam that worked. And you know, it's fine. It's a starting point. But of course, you don't want to necessarily break the bank unless you have that money to do so. But yeah, I think that's really good. So now let's talk about some advice. Think about this really quick. If you were to give some advice to some potential people that want to get into the gaming realm, other than good audio, good equipment, what else would you guys give everyone? Let's start with
I'm
Jess.
sorry, I'm eager to go. I'm chomping at the bit because
No, go for it.
people ask me this a lot, and like a lot of people I feel like have this thing where they want to do what we do and they want to get into the game industry, but they forget about all of the effort that actually went into it, and they only see the end result. They only see the finished product. They see, Katie's amazing cosplay and her like fantastic art, and they're like, wow, she's so talented. Well, yeah, but she's also works really freaking hard. Like she was not, she puts a lot of work into it. And they see Chocotaco's great content and they're like, oh, he's really, funny and everything. But again, they don't see like when he first started off. And, I know you had more of an explosive. Anyway, that's a rant for another time. My main point, my main advice is like, don't wait to get paid and stop making your excuses. Just do it. If you want to be a YouTuber, put a video on YouTube. Done. And nobody, like, when I first started to get, into hosting and everything, nobody was paying me. I was doing it. It was a lot of work. I had no social life. I made a lot of sacrifices, but I made it work, and I'm glad that I did because I didn't wait for someone to offer me a job first. I just did it because I wanted to. So.
Preach.
Wow.
Yes. All of that.
Next. No.
All of that.
Sorry, the caffeine and the sugar hit just right at that moment. So.
And that's the end of the panel. Thanks for coming. Hey. No. All right. Go ahead, Katie.
Along a very similar vein, if you are getting into streaming just to be popular or end up famous, you're probably not approaching it the right direction. My biggest piece of advice is find something you're good at. If it's a game, play a game you're good at. If what's trending is not something you particularly enjoy playing or are good at, don't do it just for the views because it will show that you're not having fun on your stream. You want to be your truest self. Like some streamers do have personas, which I'm personally not as into. I prefer watching people who are just genuinely themselves, having a good time, playing the game or drawing or whatever. So try to find something you enjoy streaming a lot, and then kind of see like what your audience is about. Also pay attention to the people who do come in. Like you get that like one couple viewers when you start or whatever, like your audience are real people, and it's important that no matter how big that audience is, you figure out like who they are, like what they're about. I don't know.
Don't look at them as just numbers,
Yeah.
like never ever, like I've seen, and it makes me cringe when like when you're watching a streamer and you'll hear them say like, oh, there's only 5 viewers. Like, what am I doing here? Like, those are 5 people that you just insulted. You think that they're not worth, you don't care. They're taking the time out of their day to check out your content when there are literally thousands of other streamers that they could be watching or millions of other things they could be doing. And they are here watching the content that you're producing and you just disrespected them. I find that awful.
And they'll remember that too. People will notice how streamers, how you treat your audience. View them more as like an army or something. Something cool.
Yes.
I've got a cult, so yeah.
We should have a war.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
My main piece of advice would be to find like your niche or the thing that makes you unique and really play to that, because that's what's going to make you successful. For me, that was like I talked about earlier, was being good at PUBG. That was my thing, and that's what I focused on, how I would promote myself. I would put it in my title, rank 1 NA. I would push that on people, and I would use that to get viewers. So the thing that makes you unique, you don't have to be good at a game to be a successful streamer or a successful YouTuber. The thing that might make you unique could be that you're funny, or you have a positive attitude, or maybe you have a nice voice. It could really be anything. So find out don't just say, I'm going to be a streamer, I'm going to be a YouTuber, and make a video, or start streaming. Figure out the thing that's going to make people want to watch you, and use that. That's my main piece of advice. And it could even be what game you play. If you want to be a streamer, playing a game like Fortnite would probably not be a great idea because people have to scroll for like 3-4 minutes just to even find you. So playing like on Twitch, playing a game that not a lot of people are playing is going to put your stream, like if you're playing some niche game, when someone clicks on that, it shows everyone according to viewer count. So if there's only 10 people streaming that game, no matter what your viewer count is, you're going to show up and someone can click on your stream. It'll make it easier for people to find you. So find that thing that makes you unique and kind of exploit that almost.
Those are all great points. One thing that I would say is branding yourself. Branding yourself is really important because you're not going to just call yourself, Big Joe 2582. Like, that doesn't make sense. You want to make sure that you come up with a game plan of how you're going to put yourself out there and get on the right foot at the beginning. I would highly suggest not putting numbers in your name because that's, it's convoluted. I wouldn't do it. Not like my YouTube channel has numbers in it, but
Boogie2988 also would have something to say about that.
I don't know. I'm just saying for searchability. You want something that people can just say, hey, dude, this is, Katie's art. Boom, it just hits you in the face. Or like me, like Abdallah. Boom, Abdallah Gaming. I think that would be really cool. But of course, everyone may differ about that. Other than that, branding is really big. And of course, social media push. We didn't even touch base on social media, but making sure that you guys have outlets that are consistent all the way through. So your name is the exact same thing on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google Plus, if you guys use, no, I'm kidding, no one used that. Twitter, Twitch, it's all the same thing, and then go from there, just so that people can know your brand. It's marketing. You got to market yourself. So like you guys talked about earlier, there's a lot involved, and it's not just playing video games, or it's not just drawing on your canvas. It's a lot more work that goes involved with it. So making sure that you're correctly branded and you market yourself across all social media is amazing, especially like Twitter. If you put your Twitter handle there and then you tweet out that you're going to be streaming and then other people retweet that stuff, it just spreads and you get a lot more people involved with your stuff. So hopefully that makes sense. And of course, if we don't cover anything, we're going to be touching up with an AMA a little bit later, so hold on to your questions. But before we do that, I do want to talk to you guys, and I'm going to ask the panelists, what is the hardest part of your career? What is the most challenging? What is the most difficult? And do you have any examples of how you've overcome them or how you deal with them? We can start with Jake over here. I see you guys are pondering.
The hardest thing for me is having almost no free time. I'm very fortunate and happy to be where I am, but it's a huge sacrifice. Like, I have no life. And part of the problem is my schedule. I do 5 hours a day, and then I take a 3-hour break, and then I do another 5 hours. So of streaming. So there's also another hour, maybe more of that, of email and answering messages, business end of things. So I work 10, 11, 12 hours a day, and I do that 6-7 days a week. So I have some free time. So I have 3 hours of free time in the afternoon, but it's more of a break, and I know I have to work later, so it's not the best free time. And then I have a couple hours later, but that's at 1 a.m., so that's not time that's very productive. So for me, the hardest thing is I just have no free time, basically.
Yikes. So now for a lot of people wondering, you stream for over 10 hours a day. Now, do you feel that that's mandatory? Because I know that some of you guys, the looks on your faces oh my gosh, dude, that's no. Crazy. Do you get paid overtime? Where do you feel is a good amount of stream time? Do you feel that you got to crunch this stuff out for the fan base? Or do you feel that, you should stream comfortably with whatever works?
I think you should stream comfortably for whatever works, but The more you stream, the better. I've talked to some people who are trying to get into streaming, and they're streaming 3 days a week at night. That's not to be mean, but that's not going to work.
Right. Sure.
You kind of want to view yourself kind of as you want to be there as much as you can. And some people, if I could go back, I wouldn't do the schedule that I have right now. I would do 8 hours maybe, or in one chunk. But I started doing it this way because I thought it would be better, which it did work out. But I'm kind of stuck with this current schedule, so I don't really know how to get out of it exactly. I could change it, but
right. Send help.
As a streamer, it's scary because you have no job security. So in a year, maybe I won't be a streamer anymore.
Right.
So it's kind of the thing where you want to get it while you can. Because right now things are going great for me, but in a couple of years, for example, I play mostly one game, so that's terrifying. Because the game I play is, I play PUBG, and it's a great game, but it has a lot of issues. And it is slowly dying. And in a few years, maybe it won't be around. And then what do I do? Well, I don't know.
Gotta switch to Fortnite, man. I'm telling you.
I do. I have been, actually. I have been. So.
All right, so that's a very interesting point. I mean, time management is a big struggle, and I'll touch base on that too. Having a life outside of YouTube, it's tough. It's absolutely tough. And I try to make myself, give myself a 9 to 5 shift, like I had in retail management for 13 years before streaming. So balancing a good work-life balance is honestly one of the hardest things in my boat. So Katie, what do you got? What's the hardest thing?
Ironically, mine's also kind of the same. I actually work full-time on top of streaming. So I do not stream every day. I actually, ironically, only stream 2 nights a week now, at nights. So for me, I'm kind of in a unique category where most of my viewers are coming from the fact that I have a much bigger presence on like Instagram. So it's less important for me to be like constantly streaming to bring in viewers, but more important that I'm just pushing out content in general. When I started though, having a set schedule is very important. I'm just gonna toss that out. Like whatever fits into your schedule, just try to pick times and tell people those times and be there for those times, because that's how people are gonna know. If you start going all over the place, then people are gonna be kind of confused. And anyway, another, I guess, different thing that's pretty big is eventually streaming will kind of feel like work. Like the fact it's like, oh no, I got to stream tonight, and can be hard to actually like not just sit on the couch and watch Netflix and be like, no, okay, I said I was gonna stream, it's time to go sit down at the computer, get everything started up, and just do it. So I don't know, treat yourself.
Yes, take care of yourself, absolutely.
Just gotta power through it sometimes.
Yeah. It does feel like, I mean, it is a job. The longer you do it, I think the more it seems that way, but it is work. And like when I wake up in the morning, I'm not like, I mean, this is kind of depressing, but I'm not like super excited to play PUBG every morning. Sometimes I am, but it is a job, it is work, it is grueling.
And if you're serious about it, sometimes you have to treat it like work. Like, okay, it's time, grab a beer and have fun.
Yes. All right, let's talk about it, Jess. What do you got?
And then to kind of piggyback off what these guys are saying, it's also there's like, well, because first of all, it takes a lot of energy to be like on camera and to be on, and like especially if you're doing it 10 hours a day, like, it's yourself and you're not really playing a character, but at the same time, you probably are a little bit more energetic and a little bit more like engaged than you might be in like a normal conversation with like a normal human being. And then there's also kind of the guilt of like, for those, I don't remember who mentioned like the 3 hour, giving yourself 3 hours off or whatever. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't remember who that said that. But during those 3 hours, like, is there any part of you that feels like guilty of like, oh, there's something else I could be doing? I could be creating more content right now. I could be entertaining my viewers.
No, I become
We're very different people.
When I'm off stream, I become a zombie. I'm just mentally, like you were saying, it's exhausting. Like it takes so much out of you. So after I'm done streaming, I'm just
I feel that
spent.
though, but on a wider scale, it's not so much I feel like I should be streaming. It's like, why am I not drawing right now? Like I should be making something all the time.
Yeah. See,
Why am I sleeping? What is this?
See, and I do way less than both of you guys, so I have way more guilt of like I should be doing something. But that's why I have more energy to worry about it, because I'm not actually producing anything. So I mean, there's the time. I think that's a big one for me. And then for me, like just the fact of like being on camera and opening yourself up to criticism is a big that was a hurdle for me, I think, because it's like, and also being able to separate when you put yourself out there and when you produce something, you are like, whether or not you like it, you're opening yourself up to the internet being able to say whatever they want. And 90% of those things, it's like a bell curve. Like 5% of things are going to be just purely, oh, you're awesome. Like, I don't know. It's not a bell curve. I don't know why I said that. I was thinking of something differently. My point is, like, most of the stuff people are going to say is not really useful to you. It's going to be, like, either really negative or really positive, but not useful. Then you have to kind of separate that, like, little bit of, like, an actual constructive bit of advice someone is giving you. Like, if someone is completely just insulting your appearance, like, that's not helpful at all. But if they like, I don't know, I can't even think of like a good example, but there are little chestnuts of like actual advice to be had out there amongst those commenters. But for the most part, it's just going to be a lot of like nothing. And you have to kind of get used to that and not take it personally. And I'm sure some people have like a thicker skin than I do and probably were more okay with like, oh, you're going to call me ugly? Well, I don't even care or whatever. I took it more personally at first. I don't anymore, but I definitely did at first. And that's a big thing that like, if people call you ugly on the internet, like that's okay. It's not the end of the world. You will survive and you're also not ugly. So don't listen to them.
I highly recommend trolling people back.
Yes.
It's a lot of
Trolling
fun.
back. Yeah, to touch base on that, YouTube does a pretty decent job of filtering through comments. There's a tab if you look on your YouTube like video manager spot that says like held for review. And I've opened that once in my life. And I've been streaming for 7 years, and I opened it just to take a look in it, and like that has literally scarred me. Like we can talk, big talk of, oh, that stuff doesn't affect us, but sometimes in the middle of the night you'll wake up and you'll think about that one comment 5 years ago that someone just like, it really hit home. So like when you go into YouTube, you have to know that the internet is a bad place. It's just what it is.
And some of those really random mean ones are really specific, and they're like middle schoolers. They're good at zeroing in on like what you're insecure about that you didn't know you were insecure about.
Right.
So like I remember back in like 2013, I got a comment on I was hosting videos for Curse at the time, and the commenter left a comment saying, "But why do her eyebrows look like sawed-off shotguns?"
Oh no.
And I think I cried that night.
Right. So
And then years later, I got microbladed, and I'm looking fabulous. Thank you very much. So.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but like I said, the internet overall is a bad place, and people will troll just to see if they get a reaction out of you. And as fun as it is to troll back, ultimately it's troll bait. If they're gonna keep on poking at you until they get some sort of rise out of you, but you don't want to give that to them. And just you need tough and thick skin for it. And it may just be like on paper, hey, playing video games for a living, super cool, super fun, easy, right? But then there's the whole half of the internet that you got to deal with that is not that fun sometimes. But on the other half, the glass half full section, we've got a lot of cool people that we've built up our communities with. And you guys can all attest to people that you look forward to seeing in your streams or seeing in the comment section. Or if you have a moderator crew or some people that, travel with you to conventions, that's really awesome. And that's the side of YouTube and Twitch and gaming realm that you really want to focus on. You want to focus on the really great people that help make you who you are.
On kind of a related note to that, especially if you're live streaming, you will create the communities based on how you yourself hold yourself. Like if you're nice and respectful to people, the people watching will kind of pick up on that. And at some point, your community can also kind of take care of itself. Like trolls will come in and like it just won't even matter because they're going to be drowned out by everybody else who's just like a decent human being. But if you're really toxic and mean on your game and like cursing a lot and stuff, then have fun.
A lot of people are very easily influenced, and we are I think we have a responsibility because we are their like role models in a lot of ways. They're looking to us almost as, how should I behave today? And then if they see you coming in and they think like, oh wow, what a cool person, they're very polite and respectful, like that has an effect on them. They're more likely, I think, to go out and be a good person instead of a crappy one.
Yeah, absolutely. With my channel, for example, I keep everything family friendly. YouTube's really big on advertiser friendly stuff, and we're going to touch base on monetary stuff. I know you guys are thinking, how are you guys making money on that stuff? We're going to talk about it. YouTube, make sure that all the channels are advertiser friendly. There is a big ad apocalypse that happened a couple years ago where advertisers were pulling out their advertising dollars because those ads were being served on content that was either racially charged, politically charged, very vulgar adult content, and they didn't want their brands associated with that. So I keep everything family friendly, and I don't swear, just to stay on that nice radar. So with that segue, let's talk about making some money, right? And we're not going to go into details of how much money we make, but if you guys are curious, you can look at Social Blade, and there's a little bit of a gauge of kind of getting an idea. So you can do Social Blade of PewDiePie and see how much money that dude makes. And then you'll throw up a little bit in your mouth. It's okay. So anyway, let's go on over, and I guess we can just talk from Jake over here and then move on down. What ways do you make monetary income off of your Twitch stream and your business?
So as far as Twitch goes, the bulk of money I make comes from subscriptions, comes from Twitch Prime. If you have Amazon Prime,
there you go, free Twitch
Not
Prime
sponsored.
sub. There you go.
you can sub to a streamer every month.
Okay,
so
what
that's
is-
like the biggest chunk
So
from
for
Twitch.
for those that don't know, what is subs? What is that? What does that mean?
Cool. So yeah, if someone subscribes, so you can on Twitch you can subscribe to someone's channel, which gives you the most important thing I think it gives you no ads. So if you're subscribed to a channel, you get no ads on that channel. You also get certain benefits, like I do custom games every week at the end of the week with my viewers, and I give the game information out to subscribers. So a lot of streamers do some sort of benefits like that. You get a badge in chat. What else do you get for subscribing?
Emotes.
Emotes, yes.
Emotes,
You get
yeah, there we
emotes
go.
that you can use in anywhere on Twitch. So if you're subscribed to me, for example, you could use my emotes anywhere on Twitch in anyone's chat. So yeah, that's what you get for subscribing.
Awesome.
And then Twitch also has bits, which is basically like donations. People also just donate. So let's say Abdullah's streaming and I want to donate. I could donate $5, $10. Send him a message. Maybe he'll read it. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll make sure to read it.
And then also ads. Twitch streamers also get paid for ads. So I think for smaller streamers, that's not a very big chunk, but for bigger streamers, it ends up making a pretty good proportion of their revenue. I think that's about it as far as direct revenue from Twitch goes.
Alrighty. Next up.
Won't reiterate everything, but yeah, that's a big part. Most of mine personally comes from, like, I have a Patreon and a Redbubble for merch, more art-specific extensions. Though Patreon you can also do if you're like, I see YouTube creators do it, all kinds of stuff, so check that out. But just having a way to, I don't know, have many different options of revenue can be good. Whether you're making merch or having exclusive content for Patreons and streaming, it all adds up.
Yeah, the
Most
more
of mine's
revenue
actually-
streams you can have,
yeah.
the better, for sure.
Most of mine's Patreon, actually, over Twitch. So
And then also there's Twitch Bounties. Is another. I haven't really
right.
messed around with those, but
I
like
can't do those.
yeah, okay. Well, those are like
So,
a
yeah.
fun little. It's like I think Twitch will essentially when you accept a Twitch bounty, I think they're available to affiliates and partners. I assume.
I believe so.
And so you say like, yeah, I'll accept that bounty. And it's usually like Twitch will pay you $25 to stream a certain game for an hour on a certain day, as long as you maintain a certain viewership. If you fall below that viewership, you get a fraction of it, I think. So that's just kind of another income source from Twitch. And then a lot of people, like I have a few kind of affiliate marketing deals. Like I'm affiliated with chrono.gg, which is a really cool deal a day game site. They just have a different game on sale for up to up to 80%, 90% off, like really cheap games. And I have one of those like affiliate links. If you go to my link, you purchase it, you get a game for cheap. I get like a percentage of the sale. Also, I have like G Fuel. Again, like if you use my discount code, I get money. And then there was one other that I completely forgot about.
Well, if it comes to you,
Just now.
let me
Yeah.
know.
The Twitch bounties thing is basically the equivalent of if you guys have seen any streamers do like a sponsored stream where you see like hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad in their title. So that's something that I do sponsored streams. I don't do bounties because another way I make money is through TSM. I'm on TSM as a streamer for them, and I get paid salary for them. And they have exclusivity, so I can't do the Twitch bounties. But most medium-sized to big streamers do get these kind of sponsored streams, which are really, really good opportunities. Where basically, usually it's part of the marketing campaign for like a game. So let's say a new game comes out, they'll pay streamers to play that game for X amount of hours and pay them X dollars. Basically the same thing that the Twitch bounties thing is for. Or it could be some. Now we're starting to see. I've done a few, and I've seen a few where there are like movies being promoted, like a new movie's coming out and you do a sponsored stream for a movie. So it's a really good way as a streamer to like increase your revenue. And as you were mentioning, the more streams you can have, that was a really good thing you said. The more revenue streams you can have, the better. Because I do merch as well. There are some people here today wearing my merch. I'm wearing one of my hats right now. That's like, I should have mentioned that myself. That's like super important. The more revenue streams you can have, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. So other than doing like that Twitch realm, the whole realm of YouTube is all about making money based off of ads. When you're going into YouTube, you can have a Google AdSense for free and you could start making money off of everything. How many of you guys, when you see a YouTube video at the very beginning and you get that pre-roll ad, you eagerly wait the 5-second countdown and then click on skip? Yeah, all right,
how many
great.
have ad block?
There we go. All right. So whenever you guys click on skip right away, that content creator gets $0. So thanks for helping me out. Wah, wah. So if you guys have a favorite content creator, you want to make sure that you sit through the ad, or you mute the ad, or you scroll through comments. You do something else to make sure that they get that credit. Other than that, if you're on YouTube and you make a video that's 10 minutes or more, you can slap a mid-roll into it. Or if you're streaming on YouTube and that stream becomes a video after the fact, you can place mid-roll ads all throughout the stream and potentially make even more money off of that. YouTube also has memberships, which is the exact same thing as Twitch subs. And they also have super chats where you can donate $1 within everything. And then, of course, Streamlabs is another way of making good money off of tips. So I know we've got about 10 minutes left. I did want to open this up to Q&A. So we'll do, I guess, the first person who raises their hand, and then we'll just yell really, really loud so that we can understand it, and then I'll pass it off to whoever wants to answer. So anyway, before you guys go, thanks so much for coming. Let's chill out here for another 10 minutes more of AMA, and we'll go from there. All right, so you in the hat in the back, hey. You have to say your name and where you're from. Hey.
You guys also build Discord communities along with, and what methods do you do to really get people engaged there?
Anyone want to take it?
Yeah, I don't do a lot personally to build I have my own Discord, and I use it for things. I am very fortunate to have a very, very powerful team of mods, and they do most of that for me. But it is a really good way to bring a community together. I don't have a great sense of how to get people to that. I mean, if you're streaming, I have a panel, of course, below my stream where people can click and go to my Discord. And if you can, any way you can get viewers driven to that will get them there. So, for example, when I do custom games, I mentioned I do custom games at the end of every week for subscribers. That information for the game, like the game name and the password, goes to the Discord. So they have to be a member of my Discord to get that information. So it incentivizes them to do that.
Strong mods are important, honestly, because it is just another thing to stay on top of and control, and you're already streaming and doing everything so much. I found when stream's ending, like I'm closing stream, I have a chat command. So it's just like, we'll put a Discord link in chat and be like, hey, we have a Discord. If you want to keep hanging out and talking, go here. And in the Discord itself, since mine is more of an art community, I have a lot of different channels for people to share what they're working on or just talk, or we've got some like game channels. It's also where I have all of my Patreon exclusive chats and all of the Twitch exclusive chats, which sometimes you can offer like stream links to. Now Discord does its own streaming if you have like a little voice thing, so you could do like more exclusive streams for like subscribers and stuff. I don't actually know how good that is, but it's there.
Cool. So ultimately, finding a way of offering exclusive content to your Discord and then promoting it on social media would be the best way of getting people on board. We've got about 6 minutes left, so I want to go through as many questions as we can. Right up front.
When you guys are Walker Evans, Homeless Underground.
There we go. Hey.
When you guys are publishing a lot of content across Twitch and YouTube and all these different places, you try a lot of things out. There's a lot of trial and error. I'd love to hear from you guys about something that you put out there that didn't get the reaction you thought it would, or something you put out thinking like, oh, this is something kind of fun, and it like blew up in a way that you weren't expecting.
Anyone want to spearhead it?
For me, it's just playing other games. Sometimes, like, after being pretty successful in PUBG, I was like, oh, I'll try some other games. And I go from like, when I play other games still, I go from like 7, 8, 9, 10,000 viewers down to like 2,000. It's like, oh, everyone's going to really like me playing this game. And, well, not so much. So that's sort of a thing that has not worked for me.
Have you tried Untitled Game?
Not yet.
That's a fun game. I love that one.
I'll watch that.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. Anyone else want to take that?
I mean, for me, it's just I've noticed themed. See, for me, it's different because I do all art. Themed streams that I promote will do much better. Like if I'm like, we are drawing, Demon Slayer tonight, people will come because they like, aha. If I'm just like random drawing tonight, don't know what we're doing, sometimes that's lower just because people like drip in and out. But it's not a huge difference. I don't know.
For me, it's just always like weird little things. Like I like to just kind of keep myself open to new things that I haven't tried before. Because like, for instance, I recently added a green screen to my setup, and like, because I've seen a lot of different opinions on whether to stream with like showing your actual stream room, because there's a lot of things you can do, like showing cool, like all your plushies in the background, or just a lot of cool things, or displaying figurines or something. But then with the green screen, it's like, okay, it's more immersive because you get to see more of the gameplay. And for a while, I was really like hesitant to put on a green screen, and I just thought like, oh, no one's gonna care, whatever. But then I got one for like other reasons, so I thought, oh, why not? We'll throw it up while I stream something, and people loved it. And so that's kind of, yeah, something unexpectedly that worked.
Cool. Let's do some more questions. In the back.
So my name is Drew Summers. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. For people who pay for no ads on YouTube, YouTubers get a portion?
Yes. In your earnings statement, you'll get a little bit of a kickback for YouTube Premium or YouTube Red. So there's nothing to worry about. Those of you guys that use ad blocker, by the way, which is not good for content creators because you don't get served those ads, I would highly suggest uninstalling it. I'm looking at you.
Never.
No, I mean, seriously, because like I do 90% of my stuff on YouTube, and it will crush me if a lot of my viewers didn't watch ads, and I wouldn't be where I'm at based off of that. But, you know, luckily, like we're all talking about, you've got to diversify your revenue in case people do keep that ad blocker on or they're skipping through your ads. As long as you're selling merch or you're getting donations through streaming, there's also different ways of doing that. Good question. We got 5 minutes left, so I want to roll through a lot of these. Yep.
Hi, Zach Farencheck, Columbus, Ohio. You like nonchalantly mentioned like, yeah, I'm part of TSM, but I was kind of wondering, like, talk a little bit more about kind of the process of joining an org, some of the perks, and like, did you shop around orgs? Like, what was that kind of relationship going like?
Yeah, I didn't really shop around since I kind of, like I said earlier, my start was kind of explosive. So they approached me. I think joining an org has been really good for me personally, because essentially the most important thing they do for me is they sort of act as like my agent. So a lot of streamers are part of some kind of organization, like loaded.gg is one, where like an agency basically, that they're represented by, and they bring them all kinds of sponsored deals. They help them kind of navigate the field. So that's the main thing I would say they help me with. It's also just a dream come true. I mean, growing up, like, competitive gaming wasn't really a big thing when I was growing up, but there were a few things. Like, I remember Team 3D, and K-Sharp was a player I really liked when I was a kid. So, my God, what a dream come true.
All right, we're going to try two more really quick. Right over here.
When it comes to a product sponsorship, you guys mentioned you get a percentage of some easier discount code. Could you talk about what that percentage was, and also how did you guys find each other? Did you seek sponsors, or did they find you?
For me, since I don't know if that was like directed specifically at me, since I know talked the most about that, it was a mixture. And it really depends on so with like, with G Fuel, for instance, I saw a lot of other people that I really liked and respected and liked their content, and we kind of ran in the same realms, and I saw, oh, they're all sponsored by G Fuel, you know, let me see if I can apply for that as well. So I submitted myself, and they said, sure, hook me up. So it's a 10% with that. If they use my discount code, they get a 10% discount, and then I just get that 10% commission. I do have but there are other kind of affiliate agreements with other organizations, or like just depending on and also depending on what you can provide to them. Like I know other people. So it's pretty much, since I primarily come from like the Call of Duty scene, it's a lot of Call of Duty people that are really affiliated with G Fuel, and some of them who have like a lot of bigger of a social media reach than I do, they'll also just get paid like a flat, like whatever, $100 per month on top of the like commission that they get. And then others have approached me, and for me, it's really a matter of like deciding like if it's a product that I truly, because like when you get to a certain point, you will just start getting offers of like a lot of companies out there. Because if you think about it, it's really easy. Like they're utilizing your social media reach in order to push their product. It costs them nothing, and they're just getting sales from you. And so sure, you get money if people are buying the product from you, then you'll make money. Otherwise, they're just using you as a free marketing tool. So you got to make sure it's something that people actually are going to want to buy. And then also that it's something that you would actually endorse, and that you would actually buy and you believe in and everything.
You don't want to ruin your own brand just by grabbing.
Yeah, you don't want to sell out,
Right.
because people can smell that really.
I would say once you get a pretty decent following, I would say assess the value of yourself and your reach, and then make yourself a rate card and a media kit. I've got one on Google Drive, and I get hundreds of emails every day for people that want me to play their game, and I'm not about to do that. I'm not going to do that for free. So I send them my rate card and say, hey, this is how much it's going to cost for me to play your game on screen, and then the ball's in their court. So like we were talking about earlier, it's like branded deals. I think affiliate links are trash. I would never take an affiliate link, because like you said earlier, they're using you for marketing, regardless of who buys the stuff with the 10% off or whatever. It's all about like the upfront brand deals. Here's $1,000, make a video. Something like that would be way better than here's 5% if people buy the stuff. Anyway, we've got time for one more question really quick before we head out, right up here.
So maybe not a good question, so if you can't answer it, but I understand how Choco got it, right? I'm looking for the best PUBG player.
Sure.
He's the best PUBG player. For the rest of you guys, like, is it the same kind of thing with your streams? I guess I don't understand how you go from 0 to 100 to 1,000 if you're not the best PUBG player.
Oh, I can answer that one real quick. There's a lot of luck involved in algorithms and stuff. A lot of that, especially with YouTube. YouTube side, luck and algorithm. You know, if you get randomly recommended on YouTube, then that's going to blow you up. on Twitch is a lot of hard work, being the best, and just being, you know, yourself, and people want to gravitate towards that. So if you do one thing, not to say that there's anything wrong, it's evergreen content where you do one kind of genre and you're the king at that, versus doing a whole bunch of other little things which can be variety content. It's a lot easier to do evergreen than it is to be variety.
And like it's a combination also of like having the right content, giving people a reason to watch you, and then also just kind of being prepared for like when you get lucky, when that big opportunity comes your way. Because for me, any content creation I do is only because like I have gained some following because of like the hosting that I do. So I'm you know, in that people would in theory watch me because I'm relevant, you know. So instead of just like, oh, who's this girl streaming? It's, oh, Jess Brohard from the Call of Duty World League. She does the interviews. That's who we're watching streaming. Like it's a reason to watch me. And then, you know, and then also at the same time, that's giving me kind of that built-in audience. So it's like finding those opportunities of like being able to work with a company that can give you that exposure is also really key. But then, you know, having the content to back it up when you do.
Absolutely. So that's going to be it for our panel. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Enjoy the rest of GDEX. If you guys want a little bit more intimate, how to do YouTube kind of a deal, I've got a panel tomorrow, same time, same place in this room. You guys can come over here and I'll be hosting that. But other than that, if you guys see us in the convention center, please feel free to come on over, give us a hug. Well, I don't know. Give us a hug, say hi, give us a high five, take some pictures. We're here for you. We'll autograph your stuff. Yes? Maybe? Yes. But we love that, so don't be intimidated by it. Other than that, have a great rest of GDEX and take care. Thanks for coming.
One more thing, make sure you have your email somewhere on your profile. Get a business email and make sure people can find it, otherwise no one's going to be able to reach you.
Yes.
They want to pay you money, they need to,
Yes.
yeah.
And have business cards, make business cards.
Yes.
Anyway, here you go, you get a card, you get a card. Anyway, we're here for a little bit. We got to get out of this room to make room for the next one, so we'll talk to you later.